Welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about some challenges, common mistakes, and some advanced techniques with one-point perspective. So lay out a paper with a dot in the middle and a horizontal line for the vanishing point and the horizon. So few common mistakes we see with beginners to doing a one-point perspective drawing. I'll cover one right now, is just getting some parallel lines a little off. It's going to make your 3D form you're trying to create look wrong to you, but you might not know why. So let's talk about that. Well, you might do one side correctly like I did here. And then when you have to go across, it's usually like for a box, it's like the top of a box. It has to be parallel to the front of that square angle. So it should look like this. But what we see a lot happen to beginners is they angle it up or angle it down and you get a shape like this, and just something looks off and you might not realize why. Even here you might see it bend in or bend out, but we have to have parallel lines. So let's just remember, parallel lines are lines that flow together, not twist and turn. So we don't want those. So again, I'm going to make my corrections here and then head into a challenge. We want parallel lines. And again, with that line, parallel lines. And that will flatten a box on the top and make it look three-dimensional. Now, say you want to turn this box into like a fish tank or something transparent. That one edge that never went back to the vanishing point can go back now. And if you bring a straight line down from the back, it will connect across like that. And you can create, again, a 3D box, but that's see-through. Try that out. Another common mistake I'll see happen is just some measuring issues with like overhangs. So I made this arrow shape. I'm going to take those angles back. And I'm going to make the roof of this arrow end about right there. Again, I'll just put a line there that's parallel. So I have this 3D space there. But now I have another section to do. What I commonly see is people put that line all the way back there, but you don't see that overhang like you see in the front of the arrow. Well, take a look at this. The distance between there and there is about an inch. What if I went back to that edge and made that an inch? And now you have a nice clean overhang, so it looks like there's like a roof overhanging over a house. A little bit of shadow to really suggest that. Describes more three-dimensionality. So if you're having trouble with that, practice that. Let's try some scrolls. See if you can do a line shape like that. And we're going to turn this into a 3D scroll. We're going to take that edge of the bottom of the line, bring it back to the vanishing point. We're going to take that edge of the top there and bring that back like we did with a cylinder. The bottom edge there too, just like with the cylinder. But now there's a couple more angles. That one, a little short spot, that one, and that one right there. And you get that twirled up paper look. Now we're going to take that curve right there, and we're in this 3D segment here, I'm going to take it right there. I'm going to bend it in, following that parallel with that, just like when I did the cylinder work. We're going to look at some distance. I'm just going to bring a straight line back there, and there's like my 3D scroll. Let's try it again in a different way. I'm going to create like a doodly curvy line, like an S curve. We're going to take this line, make it a 3D object. We're going to take that top edge, and every curve that bumps out, again, the curve that bumps out, the top of it is going to go back. It's going to look like a piece of paper flapping in the wind. Matching up. See that angle right there? It's going to curve in and get hidden. See that one right there? It's going to bump out. It's going to follow that same curve. Got to get that last line in. You want to match that up as parallel as possible. Even a little bit of shading here will make it look even more 3D, like it's bending light. Looks like we missed a little spot right there on that back end. There we go. Looks like kind of a piece of paper flapping in the wind, or a flag, or a ribbon. Now this one's a little more complicated. I did about 2 dots 2 inches apart from each other. I'm going to link up those dots to create a road or a path. There we go. Now watch this. We're going to make something that looks like a sidewalk to you. We're going to take these parallel horizontal lines. I'm going to make it pretty wide apart there. And now I'm going to do another segment, but make it not as far apart as those. And each one I make is going to be a little less far apart. So you'll see this is a little less far apart, that line, a little less far apart than the last ones, a little less far apart, and so on. When you get really far away, you can just kind of start just kind of guesstimating. But you're always getting closer and closer between the lines. As you get really close, you can just kind of add a couple extra lines there just to create that believable look. Now watch this. I'm going to take another mark, put it alongside like that to create an extra lane there. Then every edge where my lines intersected from my horizontal and my verticals, I'm going to shoot lines straight down against that edge. It's going to look like a bunch of boxes pretty much stacked one behind the other, almost like dominoes. Or like Legos stuck together. But what if I wanted to separate them? So I'm going to pick a spot right there, bring a parallel line down there, and erase those guide marks. And as you can see, now I have like a box standing up against another box. I can do that in my subsequent sections to make it look like boxes separated from one another. It could be buildings on a street. And I'm just erasing those guidelines from before. And then we'll do a little bit of shading here to create a more believable look of three-dimensionality in space. I'm just hopscotching between the rest there. So it looks like it's like never-ending space. So I'm going to shade one side of the box, the vertical side facing us. And that'll separate it from the box in front of it pretty adequately. Actually, I'm going to do the next one. Kind of cut that off right there if I want. Yep, do this for a few stacks of them and you'll really create this believable space. Really enhances the form. Slow this down if you need to see how it was laid out. If you can pull it off, got that in your memory bank, it just gives you these challenges give you some like incentive to try new things that you possibly didn't know was possible, and then you can apply them to other ideas you have later. So another challenge is here is I'm going to make like a rectangular box, and now I'm going to modify it. It's kind of good to do like a simple shape like this, and then like inside it modify and do anything you want. I'll make like just a geometric shape. I'll erase that out. That rectangle was good to guide me with the outer edges. Keep everything clean. Look, I'm going to further modify it. Do your own thing here, but you can follow along with mine. Again, just drawing things off the top of your head. It's great here for imagination, for creativity, and building skill sets in practice. Again, that distance between that is going to be right there. That distance between that's going to be mimicked here. I'm going to put a dot there. And that's going to cut off there as well. And again, I'll do a little bit of tonal shading. I'll do one side a little bit gray. It'll help it pop against everything else. Even a little darker there. And there you go. You get some three-dimensionality right there. So drawing three-dimensionally and shading gives you like the most powerful amount of form you can get. Good luck, everybody. Try out a bunch of techniques. Allow yourself to experiment. It's okay to make mistakes. Right here, I'm going to take this kind of bendy shape right here. Bring that back. Mimic that curve back there. If you want to see where the curve really lines up, you can draw a simple guideline back to tell you where it cuts through on one side is on one point along with another point. It's kind of a fun shape. It looks like it's floating there, so I'm just going to put this little figure of a fella here, kind of looking like he's pushing it. Gives a little interaction. There you go. Again, to further enhance, I'm going to do a little bit of shading in and around. We'll talk more about shading, where and why to place a shadow somewhere as we further in this project. But that right there gives us the complete look of three-dimensional form. Good luck, everyone.